Hey, good morning, y'all. Kamar's Vish back here with another video, and today I want to talk about ESG investing. And I'm gonna get to this in a moment, but I just want to say that tomorrow there won't be any videos. I have a campus orientation that I need to attend, and that's like an hour away, and it's damn near the whole day. So no video tomorrow. Weekly recap on Saturday because I have options expiring on Friday. And yeah, I did close the Nvidia one. Oh shit. I did close one position to open up a position on another ticker. But let that be known. But otherwise, nothing much. But yeah, back to the topic of ESG investing. And so what is ESG investing? I'll study up on this topic for a little bit because it is kind of interesting, especially with like the social agenda that's been following regarding the environment. But ESG investing basically integrates environmental, social, and governance criteria into investment decisions, okay? Because, the world has witnessed a growing concern for the environment. And primarily what hurts the environment is the greed of big corporations. And even if big corporations wanted to do something, their shareholders, they want more profit, they want more returns. So ESG investing, also known as sustainable investing or socially responsible investing, has emerged as a powerful force in order to control the corporate greed that destroys the environment. Because when you have to produce something, it takes a lot out of the environment, right? Especially if it's a physical product like a car. Put this on D&D, there we go. And this goes beyond seeking financial returns, because it concerns the broader impact of society and the planet. So today, I want to talk about its principles, its benefits, and what is driving up its growth. So let's get started with the ESG part. So the environmental aspect assesses a company's impact on the environment, including its carbon footprint, resource usage, waste management practices, and its efforts towards sustainability and climate change mitigation. So a good company that I could think of right now that would come to mind is Tesla. And this is a controversial opinion because it is electric, so they don't emit gas. However, lithium batteries, it takes a lot to mine that out of the earth, and it's detrimental to the planet and to the people mining the thing. But just for example, Tesla could be one company that you could use as an example. The next one, social. The social dimension evaluates like a company's relationships with its employees, its customers, suppliers, and the communities that it is associated with. Like factors regarding like labor practices, diversity, inclusion, community engagement, and last but not least, product safety. A company that would come to mind when you think of like good management, you could argue the tech sector, but people in tech are generally just overworked. At least the people that have been pioneering it for the last decade. I can't speak for all the new graduates that have been going into the tech field. It seems that like damn near half of them just got laid off with all the tech layoffs from like a couple months ago. I'm trying to think. A company that has good social communication. I feel like gaming companies do this well, especially like Rockstar Games, but I can't really think of one in specific. And last but not least, governance. Governance encompasses the company's internal structure, its marketing structure, its revenue structure, its leadership, and its policies. And it analyzes the qualities of corporate governance and its transparency, executive compensation, board diversity, and most important of all, shareholder rights. And I'm talking big shareholders, bro. You and I, with our measly 200 shares, are not influencing anything. Alright, I'm just letting that be known. But what is the aim, right? It aims to identify and invest in companies that demonstrate strong, ethical, and responsible, sustainable practices in their area of production. And it encourages investors to align their financial goals with their values and support businesses that contribute positively to society and environment. So what might be a company that isn't a good example? Definitely all the space companies like Virgin Galactic, Rocket Lab. They burn how many tons of fuel just to get their little jet up into the atmosphere? So those are definitely not a good example. And most definitely, best believe those shareholders do not care about the environment. No hate. I'd love to fly along that plane one day. But today we're just talking about ESG investing. And this wasn't really a big thing all those years ago, but I can't really say that considering I was 15 when I'm talking about all those years ago. But at least to me, I gained awareness because of it, because of global challenges such as climate change, social inequality, and corporate scandals have brought these issues to the forefront of public consciousness, especially through social media, and investors are now more aware of the impact their investments can have on society that isn't, purely capitalistic. And, millennial and Gen Z influence, does much need to be said after this. I'm glad to see it. A lot of us are for environment, but a lot of us are also mentally ill when it comes to our beliefs. So this is what makes it a little bit tough, especially with the protesters. It's gotten out of hand. And let's not talk about the improved data collection and the metrics, right? Various organizations, nothing that I can name, they can now provide ESG ratings and reports on companies and regulatory support. Every time something bad happens to the environment, usually a government is responsible for it. And every time that something is brought to the attention of the public, the government definitely faces a lot of backlash. So they kind of have no choice now. Sorry, it's still in the morning. But let's talk about the benefits of ESG investing. Long-term performance. It's a no-brainer that a company that can efficiently produce things under a certain set of rules, such as environmental rules, they can not only are they supporting the public with their products, but they're also supporting the public through their practices, which makes it a no-brainer that people love the company. So even if a new product that they develop isn't as hot as the previous one, chances are, people will just buy the product. So they are proven to perform well financially over the long term. Maybe not in the short term, but come on, we all know the stocks only go up. And when you consider sustainable practices, it's striking. So investors gain exposure to businesses with better growth prospects and risk management. And speaking of risk management, risk mitigation, ESG factors, they help investors identify potential risks and liabilities that could impact a company's future performance. Like I'm saying, back to Virgin Galactic. Right now, I'm sure they're aware of it, but they're still trying to make the company get off the ground regarding its income and revenue. But in give them, let's say, in another universe, in 2024, they finally hit recurring revenue and they're not negative on all their balance sheets. I'll give it like 8 months to like 2.5 years time that their environmental impact is brought up. Cause launching a rocket, bro, it is not an easy feat, bro. And I know they're not rockets, but like, you get what I'm saying. And like, not being aware of it right now, yeah, it can lead to, weak portfolios that choose to invest in the company. And like I said before, positive impact, it allows us to contribute to positive changes in the environment. So, the hard left liberals or the hard left, or I don't care, bro, like the hard environmentalists, the hardcore environmentalists, right? They can finally stop reposting every, like infographic on their Instagram stories and finally put their money where their mouth is. So if they, decide to invest in a company that promotes ESG investing, then it's a win-win situation. It's a win-win-win situation. They get a good exposure to ESG investing. They support environmental things. They contribute capital to a company that promotes ESG investing. And the environment also benefits. So, yeah, because there's only a limited amount of money to go to everyone. So, if an ESG company gets $500 rather than a supercar manufacturer who makes V12s, just think about it. And reputation and brand value. We all know in 2023, branding is everything. You've seen that. It's become outrageous, especially with Target brands charging the same price for a Nike clothing. So, yeah, what am I saying? Companies with strong ESG credentials they will enjoy enhanced reputation and brand value. Like, they will have a loyal customer base. But, for everything that's good, there is an equal and opposite bad thing. So let's talk about some challenges and criticisms. Number one, which is a lack of standardization, right? The metrics and the reporting framework that they have in place for ESG, it's challenging for investors to read it and to compare and evaluate it consistently. And, second, there's greenwashing. I feel like if any company promotes ESG investing, they are likely, most of the time, likely to be engaged in greenwashing, exaggerating their environmental efforts to appear more sustainable than they are in reality. And this is like, it makes it more of a burden on the investor side because they have to do more due diligence in their research, which is always a good thing, but like, come on. No amount of due diligence is going to make you aware of a company if they're greenwashing. And there's trade-offs. Some investors might choose between strong ESG performance and immediate financial gains. So it's all about a balance, and the balancing stuff ain't no easy task. And conclusion, you feel me? ESG investing, right? It represents a significant shift in the investment landscape. It signals a growing awareness of the importance of sustainable practices in businesses. And as more and more investors, I think specifically in Gen Z, as they come to age and as they start their investment portfolios and they look for good companies to invest in, they are going to be more concerned with companies that are able to practice by ESG standards. And ultimately, by supporting those companies that prioritize all of the good practices, it's a win-win situation. Like investors play a pivotal role in contributing to companies that contribute to a more sustainable and equitable world. Even if the company isn't like, even if their product isn't designed to help the environment in any significant way, if the product is like a necessity for like, you know, our consumption, like electric vehicles, you know, give or take, it's a win-win situation. But like, come on. But I've yet to see like this trend take off big time. But then again, I haven't done all the research that I could have. So it's important for everyone to remain vigilant, do their due diligence and research, but also support genuine efforts towards a brighter and more sustainable future. So that's all I wanted to say. This was an interesting topic. When I was researching it, obviously I didn't do my due diligence researching it, but I'm only here to give opinions, not give ebooks on financial topics. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. It's a great thing actually, because you like, bro, it's the most realistic thing you could do to support the environment if you're not into like getting dirty with Mother Nature and dirt to go plant trees. So do what you will with this information. I hope you learned something about ESG investing. I think everyone that watches this video will surely come out a more educated individual, because I just don't see it being talked about enough. Definitely the companies that support ESG practices are not talked about in the media enough. So yeah. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys on Friday or Saturday. But yeah, I'll take care.